so stupid.
For not good, the art going up in flames.
Yeah, we need this place.
On his soul.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Soul, a.k.a. Mr. Speaker from the Soul himself, and I'm here with...
Yeah, you already know. It's your boy, Lamari Flo, who may not be here based off your allegations. But, welcome back to episode 1 that was long awaited for. You guys weren't asking, but we're going to tell it anyways just to get it over with. We recorded twice? Once. So, the reason why episode 1 took so long to come out was we recorded the intro before spring break. And we were like, all right, we come back from spring break, we're going to have a video. Spring break comes, obviously we're not going to record. We come back. Obviously we got to get the groove of things back to school. Then we record episode 1, and there was an echo in our stuff.
Echo.
Just like that, with everything we said. We didn't realize that until we finished the video. So we finished the entire episode.
Like
an hour-long episode. And then the audio was just buff. We couldn't fix it. There was nothing we can do about it.
Right.
So obviously we're not going to give you guys episode 1 with trash audio. So
Thanks. Intro already delayed as it is.
yeah. So here we are. Hopefully right now things are fixed. But we're just trying to stay consistent for you guys. And what sucks is too, summer's about to hit the corner.
Facts. We gotta like pre-record 16, 17 episodes.
Yeah, we had a schedule. Like we were ready for it. And then literally just
that shit threw everything off.
Literally. And it's like this mic is still messed up. Like permanently now, I think. So
self-incriminating, man. I don't know what happened to that microphone.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's our official, hopefully, episode 1 of the full Flow and Soul Show. What are we talking about today?
Gotta get at least 10,000.
I hate that dude. Dude, he's popular for no reason.
What you mean?
Bro.
I mean, he stayed in the air for 4 minutes.
That's not possible.
4 whole minutes.
4 whole minutes.
You know how it would be possible?
And he confirmed it.
You know how it would be possible?
How?
Time travel.
True. Do you believe in time travel? Do you believe time travel will come?
No. I don't think it will, because like I don't like time is like a concept. It's not like, I don't know how to explain it. Like it happens, but it's not like a physical thing that you can like travel through.
Okay.
So I wouldn't really understand how, like when you talk about different universes, like there's a universe, like, I mean, of course it'd take millions upon billions of years to create technology to get there.
Yeah.
But we could fly a spaceship to another universe. Yeah. I can't fly a spaceship to like 2 years ago. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't, it doesn't process in my mind like how that could be like real. Okay. Like how would you create technology to travel through something that doesn't exist? You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
A freaking future you just pops up right here. But it's like I'm 50-50. I'm not like so deep into it, but like if someone asked, I think I'm just like like probably.
Yeah, like,
but realistically, probably not.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So it's like I feel like I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I feel like you really can't travel.
You wouldn't be shocked is crazy. If future you popped up right
now.
No,
I would.
Oh,
wait, no. I was gonna say I wouldn't be shocked if like
if it did happen in the future.
Yeah, because like if it happened now, I'll be shocked.
Right.
But if like years from now, yeah, and obviously I don't believe I'll be alive for time travel to happen.
Yeah, no.
We're fried. But it's like, then again, that's just, and we'll talk about that right now, but that's just gonna, the whole like multiverse, like different time theories, because like if you travel back, it's not the same world technically, right? So it's like that's where multiverses come in, and it's like, have you seen, I think it's called Up. Is it Up?
Like
Us.
Disney
Us.
movie?
Us.
I was about to say. I was like,
I'm tripping. Us.
You mean Us? Like with the doppelgangers?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about it?
Like I think like, I don't think there's doppelgangers here, but I think there's like another world where it's like kind of living.
Just us.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if they're humans, but it's like
Yeah.
something.
I mean,
Or,
like, yeah, I mean, I guess, like, it depends on, like, how you think about the multiverse, because all I know about the multiverse is just from, like, Marvel movies, and
like there's another world of just like the same person.
yeah,
but
like,
different
the same people exist in every timeline. It's just, like, different
timeline.
changes,
That's what it's called. Holy
changes
hell.
here and there. But, I mean, like, bro, Superman just flew around the Earth really fast and went back in time. So it's, like,
Bro.
it's, like, how do
Yeah.
you, like, and then there's, like, the whole, you can't change the past and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But then, like, when you think about, like, the multiverse, like,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm traveling to a different universe and I change something and I just travel back to mine, why does it matter?
That's a good. Yeah.
Because the whole thing before with, like, the whole, like, grandfather paradox is, like, you go back in time, you meet somebody that you weren't supposed to meet because you're not alive, and that changes the future. But, like, if you're going to a different multiverse, you can do whatever the hell you want as
Yeah.
long as you're going back to the right place.
Yeah.
I mean, you completely ruin the stuff. But I also feel like it's something that they brought up in Loki, the TV show. I don't know if you watched
Yeah.
it.
I seen it.
But he was talking about how, like, basically, like, minor changes wouldn't, like, change something big. Like, well, let me not say that, Lord.
What were you about to say?
No.
Bro, you have to say it.
Okay. 9/11. 9/11, let's say I was alive in 2001, right?
Okay.
And I went and I spoke to my mom way before I even existed.
Okay.
That wouldn't change the events of 9/11 at all.
Okay. So I see what you're saying.
You get what I mean?
Like, oh,
so, like,
there's
the
gonna be a plane
multiverse, the
crash.
multiverse isn't like the butterfly effect. Just because I'm there doesn't mean the entire thing is gonna change.
Okay.
In theory,
Okay.
just like as long as I'm not affecting the actual event. Because
Like,
I mean, it's
yeah.
not like my mom was gonna go save. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
Yeah. Okay. Like when
So-
people be like, "Oh, you travel, you kick a rock," that's gonna change how
exactly.
the roads. Okay.
Right. That
Okay.
little rock isn't gonna change like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
In theory.
Okay.
So it's just stuff like
I
that.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it was like that's literally like, the best way to explain it. Because like when I think of traveling back in time, and it's like like you said, you stopped your grandparents from meeting
Mhm.
each other. It's like, and if you travel back to your time, I think all you did was change that timeline.
Right.
I don't think you would travel back back to your time, and then it's like you go up to your grandparent and they're like, "Who are you?"
Right.
I don't think that's how it would work. And like to change a major, I think that they were to travel back in time and then say like, I don't know how you'd convince people to be like, "Hey guys, don't get on this plane." But it's like
Yeah.
if you did some way do that, and they stopped it from happening, I think like stuff like that could actually change at least the United States.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even have TSA for real.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, one thing that's always messed with my head about like the multiverse, like as far as time travel, is like how, with the existence of the multiverse, like how do you pick a time? Because like we're in the present,
Mm-hmm.
but in another multiverse, what we would consider 2 years ago is now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you're picking a time to go to, like how do you choose?
And
Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because like you,
And I think you can't. I think you will never say time travel exists.
Yeah.
I don't think you would ever be able to travel to the future.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be possible.
Yeah.
I think, cause like, you don't know what's gonna happen. Like
you
even
don't
right.
have to know. Well, okay. Well, what I'm saying is, if you're able to travel, like, to the past, like in this theory that I just came up with,
Okay.
that like in some universe it's always the present.
Mm-hmm.
As long as there's past universes, who's to say that we're the most recent?
Recent
Do you get what I'm saying?
okay.
Like the most far
Okay.
ahead. So there would have to be an infinite amount of universes going in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
Multiverse.
Okay.
It's timeline. Shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because in the because okay,
To them,
2 years
we're
ago
in-
they're in
yeah.
the now,
Mhm.
and then we're here. Like,
That's what
oh,
I'm
we're
saying.
in 2025 when they're in. Okay,
So like, if I could time travel, I don't think I'd want to go to another like timeline, just because like things will be different. I would want to travel within my own timeline, and if anything,
Okay.
I would just like want to like look like I don't know,
not change.
I wouldn't be just standing on top of a building and just like looking at how the world used to look like 20 years ago or something, and then leave. But like,
That yeah.
you know, maybe
Yeah.
I'll go buy a coffee or something and leave.
Yeah,
Like you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Just
yeah.
walk around the street, whatever. But like, I wouldn't want to travel to another. Like for example, let's say I travel to another universe and let's say I go to the future and, you know, like right now you wouldn't be like, like right now you wouldn't be like an actor and stuff, but I travel to another timeline and you're just like a dictator or something. Like,
okay.
Why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why. That's also with the future part, because it's like just like you said, obviously we're saying it now, and maybe it changes, but like if I were to time travel, I wouldn't want to like change anything. I'd like people be like, oh, 19s was the best year or whatever. So like I would want to go back, see, or like go back and see how my parents was living like when they was kids, just like, oh, that's what you was doing at school. And it's like, if I travel to the future, that's what I'm scared about. Like if it's really bad or like my life just doesn't go how I expected it, then it's like, then when I come back to my time, I'm going to be trying to change.
Exactly. You're going to do everything in your power to change it.
And then that's where that theory comes, where it's like, because I'm trying to change, that's what led me to where I'm at when I saw myself.
That's the paradox, right?
So,
there,
so it's like, do I want to go to the, like, I would probably go to the future, but would I want to see myself?
That's what I'm saying. If I did go to the future, I would want to see everything else.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to know, like, what I got going on in life. But, I mean, like, also, like, I feel like, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I get what you're saying. Like, there would be no way to see your own future. You would have to see a future of a different you.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're in the now.
Yeah.
So there is no more
that's
go.
Happening right now.
Yeah. Plus, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I wouldn't want to, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want to see my own future in specific. Just because, like, I don't know. Like, I guess kind of what you were saying. Like, with the whole, like, that's going to lead me to try and change things in my life. But on top of that, like, well, just, I guess my question, like, do you think something like the TVA, like, exists or could exist? You don't think so? One thing that, like, used to mess my head up in Loki was, like, the idea of, like, variance.
The TVA is, like, people controlling timelines. They're somewhere in space
they're fixing timelines.
Yeah.
The thing with variance that used to, like, never made sense to me is, like, the way they describe time is that it just happens. Like, stuff is already set in stone. So how was it possible for people to just not follow the rules or instructions that they've had since birth?
So do you think,
like, would a conversation like this make us variance?
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna say, like, do you think? Obviously, religiously, people say your path is already made.
Yeah.
But besides that, do you think like we have a set path? Like, no matter what we go through, no matter how many times we change our careers, at the end when we're about to die, that's the path we were supposed to go on.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think your path changes with every decision you make.
Okay.
And even like talking religiously, like, I don't know too much, but just from what I feel, right? For one thing I know is that, or I shouldn't say no, one thing that I think is that, like, speaking specifically like Christianity, God is not all knowing. There's many, and I haven't even read that much, but just based off of Genesis alone, like when Adam and Eve ate the fruit from the tree, he was like, did y'all eat the fruit? He didn't come up and be like, oh, y'all did wrong. Like, oh, I know what y'all did. He was asking questions. So why are y'all acting like that? Why are y'all afraid of being naked? You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think that he has plans. He definitely has plans for us, and he has a path set up, and he puts things in place for us to follow it. But at the end of the day, it's up to us. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't force us to do anything. It's up to us to listen to it and follow that path.
Okay.
And I think even if you're not religious, I feel like it's the same thing.
For you, for
things will happen, and your path changes every single time you make a different decision. Yeah. So like, I don't think that there's a set path. I mean, the set path that everybody has is death. Yeah. So it's really just about what you do in the time that you're alive. So yeah, no, I definitely don't think that there's a set path, just because like every single person that is alive is gonna have the same fate ultimately anyway. Yeah. It's just a matter of when and how.
Yeah, when and how. Yeah.
Right. So
also, I think it's a stupid question when people are like, would you rather know how or when you die? Yeah. Obviously, I want to know when. Because if I say how and they're like, it's going to be in a car accident, then I'm never going to want to be in a car. Right. So it's like,
I'm going to be so paranoid my whole life.
So
but I mean, like, honestly, I wouldn't want to know either. Because I mean,
I wouldn't want to know either, but it's like if I had to know.
Exactly. Yeah. If I had to know how, like, that would fuck me up for my whole life. Especially because, like, I think what would make it even worse is the fact that I know how that I die. Even though I'm trying so hard to avoid it, it's inevitably going to happen anyway. Yeah. The reason I wouldn't know when is just because, like, I mean, I know my time is limited, but, like, having it said straight out in my face and I know that it's there. Yeah. It's just like
no matter what you do, that's when it's going to happen.
That day is when it's going to happen. Yeah. So it's like, that's just so, like, dang.
They're both, like, mind, like, trippy, but it's like.
I feel like knowing when. I think
it's way
worse. Like
Worse?
No, like, no.
Oh.
I think it's worse, like, mentally. Like, I think, like, with you just trying to avoid, like, the way that you're going to die is, like, one thing. You're, like, changing the way that you live. I mean, I guess you would do that with when. But I guess this is just me personally.
Okay.
Knowing when, like, I'm going to die would, like, because I already have, like, way too many thoughts about, like, life and, like, death. And
yeah.
so that would kind of just, like, take me to the max, like, what am I really doing with my life? Like, I don't have enough time.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Like, I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, I feel like, of course, like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to start experiencing because it's really going to put into perspective for me. I swear we were just talking about this last time. We had, like, the same conversation.
Did. Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah, like,
it wasn't, like, on here, but I think it was, like, we just decided to have a talk about it.
We did have this. Yeah, like, it just, time. Like, I realized, like, I really got to. Yeah, we were talking about the near-death experience. That's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, like, I would just, that would basically be the same, like, effect. Like, I would start living my life for real.
Yeah.
And then, like, but then it's just, like, I guess it's like, oh, well, now I only got a year left. Oh, now I only got a month left.
That's how it is. Yeah, because I think, because movies, I mean, sometimes they do a good representation of it. But I think, like, if I knew when, I think maybe I'm, like, when it happens, obviously.
Yeah.
This is all just based off, like, now thinking. But I feel like if I knew when, it would bring fear, but it also take fear.
Yeah.
For example, something small like, say I wanted to go skydiving for my 19th birthday or something. And then people are like, you know, there's that fear of like, parachute, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I go and they're like, you're not going to die till no matter what you do. And then it's like, then I can happily go.
Well.
Really?
With the conversation that we've just been having, though.
What?
About your path, I mean, your fate not necessarily being set up from the start. If you do know when, I mean, if you put yourself in a situation where you can die, who's to say that you won't? You know what I mean?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think, obviously, I think it's like not something stupid. It's like, yeah, I can go jump in front of this car.
Well, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still feel like that's extra dangerous. Like, I mean, there's one thing, like, you know, oh, I'm finna die. Let me just go start eating on food and being unhealthy.
Okay.
But I'm like, jumping from a plane that's a whole different situation, man.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do it like by myself. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But well, I think it's like still, it's like little things like that. Cause like obviously I'm not. There's gonna be like you're gonna die here. Yeah, because you can't even say if you do things right, because you can't control everything. You can't control if you're in the car
Right,
and
there's so many external.
stupid.
And then car accident, for all you know, you're just gonna get hit by a car. You just be walking down the street.
Yeah.
Cars might ram into your house or something. What are you gonna do about
Yeah.
it? So
Yeah. So that question, okay, yeah. When we talk about it like that question is still just there's too many. There's too many.
Right. There's too many
conditions.
factors.
Yeah.
I don't like the how would just the how. I mean, both of them. I think like knowing when would like it would benefit your life in some ways. I feel like I feel like there's no benefit to knowing how. Because even if you try to protect yourself, like you're just paranoid 24/7, you're never gonna be able to live the same.
No, literally.
Like,
and if it's something as basic,
you
like
you can't come to terms with it either.
Yeah.
Like what if it's something like you're gonna die by choking? Now every time you eat, you're gonna be nervous as hell. You're probably not even gonna want to eat for real.
It's
so it's just stuff like that.
Small.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So yeah, I at least feel like knowing when I die would allow me to like live a lot more free, like mentally.
Okay.
Just knowing that like I really gotta make something happen before I go. Which I guess like is the mindset that I should have already, but I guess it's just the fact that like, you know, I could die at any time and I would have no idea.
Yeah.
So it's like, at what point do I decide like I gotta do something, and at what point do I decide like maybe I should just live my life? You get what I'm saying?
Because like then you're just gonna be trying to do everything so fast, you're not gonna be resting. You're trying to get all the goals, and it's like you're not living.
Exactly.
So back to the multiverse conversation, right? So I heard, which I believed it at first for a minute. Because I was like, nah, these dreams are sometimes too specific. But there was a multiverse conversation where it was your dreams. Have you seen WandaVision?
Unfortunately.
Okay. Well, okay, so you've seen it. So they were like, your dreams is you traveling to another multiverse version of you. That's why you, like, never know how you start the dream. Because, like, that's why people are like, when you zone out or when you're just living unconsciously, like, when you're driving, you're just, yeah. So people are like, that's a multiversal version of you who slept and, like, took control, I guess. So I didn't, like, think that part was real, but I did think, like, when I would sleep and I would wake up, I didn't let TV get to me because when WandaVision, she would do her little, and then she would travel to another version of me, her that would just wake up. So for a second, I was like, our dreams, like another distant. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know if I'm asking, do you believe in it? But does that sound like that could be?
Like, the reason I think it can make sense is because like dreams don't make sense to me. Like
Yeah.
I've never understood like why,
How?
like exactly.
Yeah.
Especially just because like when you're awake and you imagine things, like you don't see it, you don't live it. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know what you're saying.
That's the main thing. Like when you imagine things, and it's so weird thinking about like imagining, because like
Imagination is like a really weird concept,
right?
too.
Because like I mean like. I can imagine somebody sitting there, but it's like they're not there. But like my brain knows.
So, picture somebody
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's such a weird thing.
Yeah.
But that's what's always been weird to me. Is like why when I dream can I see it? Can I feel it? Can you know what I'm saying? Like it's
literally
happening.
everything. Like you
Yeah.
can feel the pain, or it's not pain, but you can just feel.
I don't know.
Well, sometimes, yeah,
yeah,
sometimes, yeah. But it's like, and then it's like, have you ever? It happened to me the other night, which we're gonna get into, but just a quick summary. Like, I was asleep, and my dog was just licking me in my dream, right? And it turned into a nightmare. I don't know what it was, but like I closed my eyes because it started to like get to my face. And what, bro?
It's nothing to do with your story. I started thinking about like as soon as you said the dog, I think you'd be like, the dog got up and was like, they won't believe you. It's just.
yo,
It's just
I would
they
hate for
won't
that to
believe
happen. Yeah, but okay, so the dog was licking me, and then they started to like get to my face. So I closed my eyes, and then it didn't start to feel like a lick anymore. It started to feel like a scratch, and I was like, "What the hell?" So I was like, I couldn't open my eyes. I couldn't open my eyes again, and all of a sudden I felt myself like hitting myself to like get it
Yeah.
off me, and then when I opened my eyes, I was already awake, like I was already like in real time. So it's like, why could I still feel that feeling of getting whatever it was?
Yeah.
So it's like when it comes to like consciousness and like dreams, it's like it doesn't make sense because why? Like a common thing I'm sure everyone has experienced. You wake up, you're texting somebody, and then you fully wake up and the phone's not even in your hand.
Yeah, no.
Right?
That's happened.
So
yeah.
it's like why, how, and then the text message is actually there sometimes. It's like it was a real thing. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. The concept of like dreams and stuff is like,
You know, another reason I can like believe that dreams are like that, what you're explaining, is because like you can't imagine things that you haven't seen or like you haven't sensed, basically.
okay.
If I were to tell you to imagine a new color, it's not possible
No.
because
Yeah, I'm just going to picture every color I've seen and try to think of something new.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like this was a very specific nightmare that I had, but one time I don't really remember the lead up. I just remember at the end I got stabbed right in my gut, and I remember waking up and I was just like, and my stomach was hurting really fucking bad afterwards. I've never been stabbed before. Like the most I might have got a cut here and there, like,
Yeah.
but like I've never had
The
something
feeling
like,
of like,
yeah. The closest thing is a needle, and that's nothing like getting fucking
Yeah.
yeah. So like for me to like not only like dream it, I mean I guess dreaming it isn't that crazy, but like for me to get up and like feel like my gut hurts, like I really got stabbed, is like how on earth would I even know to like recreate that feeling? And then on top of that, it's just like, why is something that I'm imagining, like why am I feeling it? Because like,
dude,
if right now I could just imagine me breaking my arm, but I'm not gonna like
feel the pain. Yeah,
right, exactly. But then when I'm dreaming, like if something happens, like I wake up and I'm just like,
what? Yeah,
like damn, like
why did I want to think? Yeah, because it's like this goes into the movie Inception, right? They had a concept, and I'm gonna talk about it right now before I forget. So it was like they were like an idea or something you imagine sometimes isn't even yours. So if I say, don't think about an elephant, you're going to think about an elephant.
Well, damn. All right.
Right? Right? So then it's like imagination and ideas sometimes aren't even like your own thought process or like your own. What am I trying to say here?
I mean, I'm following.
Okay. So I lost it, and it was really, it made sense. We're going to have to cut this part out because I'm really tripping. But hold on, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to cut this part out because I had it like a.
Just let it come back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to let it come back.
But what's it called? Like, one thing that like I find weird is like the imagination's like ability to like just create things. Like I don't know what it is, but I have a lot of dreams in school, and like that makes me. Like, every time I say something about, like, what I be dreaming, it makes me think more and more about you and this multiverse thing. And, like,
okay.
Because, like, I have a lot of school dreams, but, like, none of them are ever a school that I've been in, ever. And then on top of that, like,
Same, no.
Like, it'll just be some random school that, like, I feel like I can, like, if I think back, like, I can recognize, like, pieces from, like, schools that I've seen, like, color scheme or something like that. But just the way that it's built and, like, shit like that. Or it'll be, like, a couple of my friends or something. Yeah. But then it'll just be a bunch of random background characters. Okay. It's just, do
you have anything? Like,
no, go ahead.
Okay. So the thought process of, like, you can't imagine people you haven't seen.
Okay.
So it's like the idea of is like if I tell you something, you're gonna think of it. But if like you said, think of a new color, you can't.
Exactly.
So when they say you can't dream people you haven't seen, but it's like I've never seen you a day in my life. So it's like, is that?
But okay, with that in mind though, like just because you don't remember doesn't mean like it's not there. So like when I'm walking down the promenade, like it could be somebody that I've never spoken to, but I'll be like,
I glance for a second.
Exactly, because it's like I seen you walking a couple of days ago. Yeah. So even though you don't like remember it consciously, that information is probably still in there somewhere, and that just becomes your background characters in your dreams.
Which makes into that conversation was like you haven't unlocked your full brain, so it's like there's somewhere in my brain that has this really, really great memory. Yeah. To where if I just glance at you, now you're just pictured in my head, and I'm dreaming, and I'm just like, bro, I've never looked at you a day in my life. So it's like, and that would lead to sometimes you dream of somebody, and then you see him in person, you're like, why do you look familiar? And it's like, okay, so so that's why I was like, when you said your friend or background characters, that's what I was trying to get into, because when you're like, you can't imagine new things, but then people are like, inventions and stuff is like, it's possible, but you have to get it off of a concept that was already there.
I mean, I feel like that's different though. I feel like it's not the same because I mean, like, an invention is like, is putting things that you know together. It's not literally like creating something new. Like even when you like draw, like if I were to draw a realistic like human that like I'm just drawing a face. I'm pulling pieces of memory of what I think a human would look like. If I were to try and build a monitor from scratch, for example, it would be on the basis of what I think a monitor would already look like. Yeah. But even people who built monitors, like every idea is built off of something. I'm sure the person who made a monitor based it off what a TV looked like. Yeah. And then the person who made a TV probably came from the idea of a camera.
The camera.
Yeah, exactly. The idea of a camera. I mean,
I need to capture this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like everything is built off of what we already know. So like even with the creation of something like new, it's not original. I think the idea of you can't create something new is more so like you can't have an actual like quote unquote original idea. Yeah. As in like something completely new that has never ever existed to anybody else except for you. Yeah. When it comes to an idea of an invention, that's different. Especially because like when you're creating something new, like, or when you're creating like an invention, for the most part, you're solving an issue.
That's mainly what it is.
Exactly. You're like solving
something
an
to help
issue.
You
exactly. You're benefiting something. So the idea that you're coming up with is already based on something else, making something else better. Yeah. So
and that's like you. That's a great point. So it comes to the thing where it's like, are your ideas your ideas? Exactly. So it's like, I had an idea, but sometimes it's like you're thinking of something that happened in the past, or thinking of something that's like based off that. Yeah. I'm gonna create my own replicated, molded,
especially because a lot of people will be like, yeah, I thought of this in my dreams, and then and I made it a reality. Me personally, that's never happened to me. My dreams should just be happening to you. Right, like I ain't never had no dream where like I just came up with this genius idea, and I was like, yeah, bro, this the one. Like I feel like, or like when people maybe it's because like, I mean, I try to be Christian, but like people would be like, yeah, like God spoke to me in my dream or something like that, and I just be like,
yeah, I dreamt of a sword fight.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
I'm fighting. I'm fighting anime characters.
Fighting dragons and shit. Like I'd be like,
Have you ever? I've had dreams that like obviously there's the deja vu where it's like this has happened before, but I've had dreams where it was like verbatim, and I think like to me that's looking kind of scary. I had to talk with my mom about this before, but the prime example I had is it was in middle school, and I had this dream where it was PE. And I look, and my friend trips and falls. We were doing, I think it was like suicide or something. I look, my friend trips and falls. We all laugh, whatever. We get up, and we end up, P's over. We go to class, and the teacher's like, all right, we're reassigning seats. Obviously something a casual day. And then they're like, oh, we're going to have a surprise quiz. I do the quiz, whatever. And by the time I finish the quiz, my friend's like, "Oh, can I borrow a pencil?" I dig in my bag, and then I wake up. So I'm like, okay. I don't think of anything. I don't think about it. So I get to school, and I tell my friend, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I had this like very realistic dream where it was like, and I tell him everything. He's like, damn, that's kind of crazy. But then like PE starts, we're doing the suicides. I look to my right, my friend trips and falls, the same dude, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave it. And then I go up to the friend that I told everything about. I'm like, all right, we have math class. Like, he's joking, like, well, let's see if this happens. We get to class, and she's like, all right, guys, I'm deciding we're going to reassign seats today, and then we're going to do a quick test. And then I was like, same questions and everything. So it's like, I talked to my mom about this, and it was like, it happens a lot. It's happened since I've been here, like once. And I don't know if it's like a special thing. I'm not saying I have like powers or anything, but it's like, how is this happening? Like, why am I getting a verbatim dream? Because it's not deja vu. And I don't know where I was trying to go with this. Not the thing of a superpower, but it's like, how powerful is the mind when it comes to seeing?
I've never had something like that happen to me.
Really?
Nah, like honestly, like my dreams. I don't know,
like I've obviously had like, bro, I'm in the space freaking fighting
like,
an aircraft. So I was like,
unserious, but like, even like my serious dreams, like it's never been something like that. My more serious dreams are like me talking to myself like through someone else, basically. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like those dreams, man, because like, I don't know, it'd be like my mom, or like I for a long time I used to dream about like one of my ex-girlfriends like just like telling me like about myself, and like I just used to wake
closer
up
to the mic, just in case.
No. I just used to wake up like sad. Like I just used to wake up like sad. Like damn, like type.
Why?
Like,
because I've had one very crazy dream that made me like change. Literally, like to now, it affects me. And have you ever had a dream where you died?
A lot, actually.
Really? So I've only had it not died and woke up, like died and you're still in the dream.
That's what I'm saying.
Really? Okay, so
I have a lot of out of body experiences in my dream.
Wow. So I've had one, and that literally changed how I was right now. So there was this song where you remember that trend where it was like, "Hey Apple, what?" And then it played that like creepy. No, so I'm talking about, dude. I can't be doing this with you. I can't be doing this with you. Okay. Point is, there's this really creepy song. Every time that song played, I changed into like where I was in the scene. This time I was in the air. I was in the plane, and the plane splits in half. Now I'm like free falling. And then obviously it was to the point where I wasn't lucid dreaming, but I had that feeling where it's like, all right, by the time I hit the ground, I'm going to wake up. So I'm falling. I hit the ground, and I felt it. Like a big, just sharp, like.
Yeah. And
then I get up, and someone's, like, crying. They're, like, holding me crying. And I'm like, I'm looking at you like, I'm okay. Obviously, I should be hurt.
Yeah.
And then I stand up, and they're still holding me. And that's when I'm like, hello? So I'm, like, waving at people. I'm seeing all these bodies on the floor because like we fell. And then I go, this is the crazy part. I go up, it was like some resort, and I'm in the room, I'm playing pool because I'm like, at this point I'm just like, I accepted the fact that like I'm dead or whatever.
Yeah.
And my little cousin, his name's Ethan, he comes in and he's like, oh hey Day, he calls me Day Day. He's like, hey Day Day. And I'm just like, Ethan? He's like, what? I'm like, you can see me? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, go tell everybody I'm here. He's like, why? I'm like, just go tell him. So he goes, he's like, guys, look, it's Day Day. And my mom literally, this is what made me freak out. She's like, Ethan, he's gone. Like, you won't see him again. And I was like, Mom, I'm right here. It was like one of those things. And I woke up and I was like, nah, dude. Like, I'm not doing that. So it was like, I don't know. Dreams like that, I'm just like, like you said, why am I imagining this? Why? I've never had the feeling of falling from the sky. I never had the feeling of like, I mean, being invisible. I mean, not. I mean, like that,
you haven't like. Okay, then again, like, I mean, I feel like you haven't fallen out of the sky, but you've fallen before.
Yeah.
And you've hit the ground before.
Okay.
And that's all you really need.
Fair to create that that feeling.
And also, like, I mean, like, for example, you've been blown by wind before.
So that feeling of, okay.
That's what I'm saying. So like, that's what I mean by like. You have like bits and pieces that can recreate the experience of, and on top of that, it's what you would think it would feel like. So it's like that's probably what you would imagine. You'd imagine it's very windy and you're falling, and then you'd imagine, boom, you hit the ground and it feels,
okay, like, fair.
But like I don't know, I don't. Most of the time that I have like out of body experiences, it's not like that, where it's not as in depth. It's more like I don't know how it was when you like came into consciousness as a baby, but I remember when I came into consciousness. It was a really weird experience. Like not like.
Me and Paul were just talking about this. That's so crazy. I remember my coming into consciousness experience.
I just remember like. I don't even know how to explain this. I just know like the world was blue. Like what I was seeing, everything was like, it was like a blue filter was on everything. I was like zooming through my house.
Okay.
And I like, literally like, this is me on the ground, like playing with my little Spider-Man car. Mm-hmm. And I kind of just, and then I was just like alive.
Okay.
But like the whole little, like I remember, I was just zooming through the house, just like blue filter, just like boom. And then I was here. And the reason I say that is because, like, when I'm in dreams and I die, like, for example, like, when I describe myself getting stabbed, I, like, flew out of my body with, like, that same blue filter. And I was just, like, staring at myself. And I see what you're saying. So, like, I don't know what that is, but, like, it happens. It's happened multiple times. Okay. So, like, I would tell my mom about it, like, the whole consciousness thing. But, like, I mean, I had just came into consciousness, so you could say anything about that.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that it happens in my dreams is, like, like is it real? Like, or was I really tripping back when I was? And the fact that like I don't remember anything from when I was 4 years old. So the fact that I remember that in specific is like
okay, that's the same with me. It's like why do I remember specific, like core, but it's like one thing. I remember one thing, and then it's like I don't remember until I was like 7 or something.
Exactly. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, I have very like. And it's just like random ass experiences. Like I remember sitting in my chair watching DuckTales when I was 4 years old. But if you were to ask me like what I did for my birthday that year, I have no fucking idea. Like and
it's like why is stuff like that core to us? Something as little as that.
Right.
Yeah, I remember my consciousness day. It was literally it was preschool, and I think it was like an after school program. So like if your parent couldn't get you real quick, you just stay there. So I remember waking up, and it was like I'm assuming it was nap time, obviously, because I woke up and I'm looking, and it's like all these kids just asleep next to me, and then I just look, and then this figure, which I'm assuming was a teacher, but it was like, your grandma's here. I'm like, what? And she's like, your grandma's here to pick you up. And then like I remember getting up, and she's like, oh, don't forget your shoes. And I'm like, where are my shoes? Because like I feel like so I'm just, she's like right there, and I get my shoes, and I'm just walking, and that's what I remember. It was like,
so like. Do you think that you are you before you come into consciousness? Because, I mean, like
when I'm a baby 1 and 2? Like, is that me controlling it?
I mean, even when you're, like, 3 or 4, like, even the time just before you become, like, conscious, you still have, like, a personality.
Yeah.
You still laugh. You still, like, react to things. Like, you're like, living subconsciously, but it's, like, you're still, like, feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still have emotions. You still, like, when you come into consciousness, like, you know who your mom is. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're just, like, a new person in a body. But, like, at the same time, like, how?
Yeah, because I didn't, like, question, like, is that my grandma? I was like, I knew, like, oh, yeah, that is, like.
That's what I'm saying. So, it's, like, do you think that, like, I remember, like, for a while, like, going off my little blue filter theory that I was talking about, that I thought that, like, I was just, like, a consciousness that just, like, consumed a body. And then just like started living in it. Which
I see what you're
goes
saying.
all the way against all the multiverse shit we've been talking about.
No,
but like I don't know. It's
but it's like why is it that we just wake up one day when we've been?
Why wouldn't I have been like, what's the word I'm looking for? Aware of like my existence.
Yeah.
For like the past 3-4 years of my life, and then on top of the fact that it's just like it'd be one thing if I was just like laying there like just like. Eating and breathing, but it's like the fact that I'm living, I'm doing things, like I'm
learning how to
like,
walk, laughing,
right? Like I can hand my little brothers a controller and they know how to play the game, like they're speaking to me. But like one day they're just gonna wake up and be conscious, and on top of that, it's like, how do you know? Like,
how do you know you're dude? Okay, so that's a great question. I love that you just said that too, because thinking about it, like sometimes I want to go to my little cousins. They're like 10, and I'm like, do you remember
like,
when you were a baby? Yeah. Do you remember any of that stuff? And then if they're like, yeah, and they start telling me, I'm going to be like, okay. And I'm going to wait till they're like 15, 16. I'm going to be like, do you remember when you were a baby or something? They're like, no. And it's like, is it like the older you get, the less you remember? Is it like a chart? And it's like, this is when you're born, and then as you keep going, it's like this is just start getting left behind.
I mean, like, I think so, because like, I feel like your brain chooses to remember like what's important.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you start to, especially like going through school, and you're constantly learning all these math subjects and all kind of stuff like that, those memories that didn't mean too much to you, like as like, I guess, character development, if you can say it like that, they don't really have a reason to be there anymore.
Makes sense.
You know, that's like, I wouldn't remember some random name of some guy I met like down the street, because it's not gonna mean nothing to me 2 weeks later. So I guess it's something like that. Yeah. But I mean,
and is this stuff like, but how does it work too? Which I get what you're saying, but there's sometimes where it's like, I remember something the day before, and I'm like, I need to remember this tomorrow, and I wake up and it's like, I don't even remember. It's not. And sometimes it's like I forgot. It's like I know I had to remember something, but sometimes it's like, well, that thing is just gone.
I think it's just like repetition. Like, I feel like you remember things from class because
keep doing it.
You're doing it over and over again. And then like on top of that, let's see if I can think. Like I said, like things are just more important to you.
Okay.
Then like, yeah, some things are just more important to you than others. Like I feel like if I
No, go.
Oh. Like, if I were to, like, tell you an entire story and then some random dude on the street was to tell you an entire story, I feel like you'd remember it better coming from me than from some random guy you've never spoken to before.
Because I'm just like,
so I think that there's just a lot of, like, factors that play into, like, how you remember stuff. One thing I don't get, though, is, like, what I guess it's just playing back on consciousness, like, why do I remember things that I don't remember? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
I know
like
exactly what
subconsciously, you're saying. I can recognize, like, damn, this feels familiar. Or, like, damn, like, I know you. Like, crazy shit. So this is a girl from Spelman. Her name is Chaz. You know who I'm talking about?
I think so.
Yeah, let me just.
Yeah, show me real quick. Bro, it's some crazy conversations, man.
No, trust, because this going to blow your mind.
Okay.
This is going to blow your mind. Okay. Her. Have you ever seen her?
I've seen her like once. Yeah.
Well, point is, right?
Yeah.
So, coming to Clark, coming to CAU, I just started following anybody from the AUC, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you know, meeting people, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And like, as soon as I seen Chaz's profile, I was like, man, like I know you. Like, I don't know how I know her, but I would tell my friends, I'd be like, bro, like, I know this girl. Like, I don't know how I know this girl, but I know her. And then like, but I never like did anything about it. Right, exactly. So I was just like, okay, whatever. One day I'm just randomly going through my TikTok block, and she's there.
Oh.
But she's like one of the first people on my list, meaning this was years and years ago that I blocked her on TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't have her blocked on anything else, but it's her profile. So I'm just like, in my mind, I have absolutely no memory of any conversation ever with her, and I totally forgot what she looked like until that moment.
But it's like,
I was like,
why
man,
did I block her?
I know you, and I just happened to go on my TikTok block, and you've been there. So I'm like, we would have had to at least have a decent amount of interaction for me to get to the point of blocking you on TikTok.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's actually,
and I remember I asked her about it because we did end up becoming friends. I asked her about it, and she don't remember who I am, and I'm just like, that's so weird. Because if you were to say her name to me, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
It was just the fact that I seen her face. And again, the fact that it was so long ago, I mean, like, of course, like, your face doesn't change that much.
Yeah.
But, like, it's been 4 years. We're talking freshman in college. It's like, that's a long time.
Development.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you can still look like you, but no.
Right.
Yeah.
So the fact that I recognized her face and was just like, I know you. Like, I know you. That is exactly perfect example of what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's shocking. No.
I remember things that I don't remember consciously, but somehow it's
there's
a
there. Reason why you're blocked. It's like
exactly
there had to be some type of contact.
Exactly. So like it's not
Where's
like
she from? Did you ask her?
She's from the DMV.
That's crazy.
Exactly. Right. But I know for a fact I've never spoken to her, like at least in person. Okay. I know for a fact that we've never communicated in person.
Okay.
Because then that would be different. Yeah. I feel like I wouldn't forget that. So. Or not, I wouldn't forget that, but like I'd be able to be like, oh, I seen you at this basketball game or something. Or, you were some girl that I was just talking to like one day. I don't know who she is. So it's just like the conclusion that I came to, like at the time, I was like, yeah, I probably just met her on Wiz or something. But like it had to be something. I don't know what.
For sure.
Like something. And the whole point is, it's just like.
That's so crazy.
Exactly.
No, that's actually like.
So it's just like, how am I remembering this random person from this random event, but somehow have zero recollection of anything that could have possibly, not even an idea of what a conversation could have looked like.
Yeah.
I remember nothing.
It's just you saw
Just
the
her
face.
face. I saw her face, and I was like, yeah, I know you.
I have nothing to say. That's actually like such a crazy coincidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was like, it'd be different if you didn't have her blocked. Because then
Right.
it's just another person where you're like, all right, I probably know you from
Yeah,
somewhere.
you probably just look like one of my friends or something.
Yeah.
No, exactly. The fact that I know that we've interacted is just like, wow, like that's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's just how crazy how small the world is.
That too.
Like, how do we
Friend of a friend.
how
do you
were
know?
we in the same area and then ended up in the same area again 4 years later? Pure coincidence, no conversation about it, stuff like that. And then for me to find out that she was from the DMV was just like a what? That's so crazy.
Sometimes, I didn't want to get into this conversation because I feel like I sound stupid. But me and Paul talked about this. And sometimes, obviously, I know the world is real. But then I'm like, I don't think the world sometimes is real. Like, I feel like sometimes something's be happening in the world where I'm like, that was a glitch in the system. Like, I'm not like one of them people who I have a freaking foam thing on my head and it's like
tinfoil.
Yeah. But it's like, there's sometimes where I'm questioning the world. Like, okay, prime example I know everyone has had. Say you're sitting in an open area, just wide open, or like you're on your bed and you drop something and it's just gone. And you're like, I saw it fall right here. I saw it fall right here. And now it's like across the room. It's like
my hair ties, bro.
Yeah, so it's like sometimes I'm like, bro, the world is like glitching. It's like, well, that's not supposed
No,
to.
I be thinking that sometimes. I feel like there's too many coincidences in the world to be like coincidences.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have an example for that. It just is.
No,
it's just a statement.
that's literally what it is. It just is. You can't explain it. It's just.
I feel like there's just too much that just happens to happen for it to happen. That's
the best way to explain it.
Yeah. I don't know. I be thinking about this shit on the low key, but I also feel like it's never a conscious thought. Now that I'm saying it, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be thinking about this, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm not sitting there and it's like,
yeah, I don't really sit there.
It's until something happens where you're like, huh, and then you just move on.
Exactly, but I guess I mean that's another my subconscious be thinking and I don't when I guess one of do you think that I mean obviously the conscious and subconscious are different, but at one point I used to think that my conscious and subconscious were two different people, because one thing that I think about is when you think about something, for example, if I'm about to freestyle, and I'm what am I gonna say?
You're thinking about what you're gonna say, or at least what to come up.
Exactly. In my mind, I'm like, what am I gonna say? And then all of a sudden, words just start popping up, but I'm not saying it in my mind. The words are just thinking themselves, as if somebody's feeding it to me. Does that make sense?
I think I know what you're saying.
Because explain it, because
I was about to say, I mean I don't freestyle, but and from my own experiences, I think I know what you're trying to say. When it comes to stuff at least with me with sports, where it's when I'm on the court, I'll say it's I know it's all right, this play I have to swing, kick, whatever, but it's I'm too intense. I'm thinking about, I need to go set this screen. All of a sudden I have the ball and I quickly pass it. It's sometimes I'm I didn't know he was there, or I didn't know.
Brain just moving on its own.
My brain is just subconsciously he's open, pass it, but I wasn't thinking he's open, pass the ball.
Exactly. That's
so it's
yeah, I don't that I don't know, it just makes me it messes with my head. I guess it goes back to the idea of you can't imagine somebody's voice that you haven't heard before. But one thing I've noticed as well is I mean, even if you do imagine a voice it, I mean, I've been saying this whole time, it's built off of other voices you've heard before.
True. Yeah.
It's not you can really just come up with
you
know what I'm saying? Even if you for if I were to just talk gibberish, it's it's noises that I've made before. I'm not actually creating new sounds. Yeah. But with that in mind, can you I mean, I can do it, but I find it hard to imagine my own voice.
I know what you're saying.
I feel and the reason I say that, I guess for me, is one thing making music. When when I do get to writing and I like make a flow, I'll like rap it in my head.
Okay.
How it sounds, and my voice will sound a certain way in my head.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound
when you're speaking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even not even just when I'm speaking, but like also when it's recorded. Like my voice doesn't sound the same like when I hear it back or when I'm just hearing myself speak.
But I don't think that's like a you thing. Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but sometimes it's like technology wise.
Well, okay, even like with technology, like you don't hear my voice the same way that I hear my voice.
Good point.
If I'm not mistaken, everybody hears their voice deeper than it really is. I think.
I'm not gonna lie. I was about to say the same thing because like sometimes I'm like I'm talking right now and I feel like my voice isn't like deep, but I feel like it has some type of like monotone to it.
Yeah.
But then like when we look back at the podcast, when
It
we look
sounds
back
a lot
at it, it
higher
sounds higher, and I'm like, do I sound?
Bro, that's why I hate like being on the game. I like watch one of my clips and I sound like a bitch.
I didn't want to say it right now. But
Yeah.
like when I be posting on my YouTube channel, I be like, sometimes like before I start recording, I like remind myself like, all right, make your voice deep, like talk like this, and then like I watch back the video, I'm like
exactly, yeah. That's what I'd be like. Like, yeah. So, yeah, you hear your voice differently, and I guess like even when I'm just like imagining like my own voice, like. I mean, I don't know if you can hear me imagine it, but like,
no, I was trying to say. I mean, please don't try to say it.
like, yeah, it's not exactly
it's not what
same.
you sound or hear. So.
And I don't know. I feel like it's not that you can like forget what you sound like, but I mean like, I don't know. There's like voices, like for example, like not to get like deep, but like my grandma, I don't remember what she sounded like, or at least like my nana. Like I feel like it's been so long since I've talked to her that I just don't remember what she sounds like, and I feel like I don't have any like strict memories of like there's this one specific moment, right, where like
hold on, sorry, you got me thinking.
Oh no, you're good. But like this is one specific moment where like me and my grandma were on the porch. Me and my nana in specific.
Okay.
I call my other grandma.
Yeah.
So me and my nana were on the porch, and I think I asked her how old she was. I can't remember how old she was at the time, but she said it to me, and I was like, dang, that's old. And she said, oh, don't say that. And like, I have that memory.
But when you're replaying it to yourself, you're replaying it in your voice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have no idea what she sounds like. At this point, like it's just been so long that I have no idea what she sounds like. And even now, like I was just on the phone with my dad like last month. Now that I'm trying to imagine what he sounds like, it's not playing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I'm like zoned out because I'm like really trying to remember mine.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm like
I've
talked to her
no
so
idea.
much, and it's like
exactly, bro. I literally was living with her for like a good period of time. It's like
yeah.
I don't remember what she sounds like.
So like any memory you have, it's like your voice talking to your voice.
But I know that if I heard her voice played on a video, I'd be like,
it's
that's
instantly
my nana.
every memory is gonna replay to her voice,
and that goes all the way back
bro.
to what I was saying earlier. That like you just remember things that you don't remember.
Bro.
So it's
like if I play a video of my great grandma right now, every memory that I'm thinking about right now that I'm replaying in my voice is gonna
boom
to hers.
Exactly, and that might only last for like 2 days before it's just boom. And that's why I said like I feel like it's just two different people in my head, and it's just one person that just like controls, and another person that's just like there for like extra shit. I guess if you want to say like or like the shit that I can't do basically.
Yeah.
So it's like
damn.
So it's just shit like that. Like yeah. Another reason I think that there's multiple people is like breathing and blinking.
Yeah,
I just did it to myself and it really pissed me off. But like now I'm thinking about it.
You're thinking about breathing and blinking.
Yeah, but like that is like I mean of course like you know the body pumps itself, but like in my mind like why like how?
Have you ever had like a moment where like you're nah, I'm about to sound like a fucking
No, go ahead.
Okay, have you ever had a moment where it's like
conversation we've been having?
Oh yeah. But like sometimes I'm walking and it's like obviously if you think about walking you're like oh like your steps start to misplace. But I don't know why even sometimes when I get like I feel like not that I walk stupid, but like sometimes if I see like okay like a pretty girl or something and I see them look at me like I feel like I have to like walk like
yeah,
okay.
I get what you're saying. Okay. You get like self-conscious about like what you're doing.
Yeah. So I'm like I'm taking steps. I'm like
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Walk, bro.
Yeah, right. No,
okay.
I definitely get that. Like, bro, when I be in the gym, I be doing my lunges. This is just very specific. Like today, E-Man was doing the like leg workouts, and I was doing my lunges. He was just looking at me weird, and I was just like,
"Am I not doing it right? Do I have a weird form?"
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I was just like,
bro.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, when I think about it, like, I don't think about, like, doing lunges. I'm just like, all right.
I've done it so many times. I know. And if I feel it in my leg, I'm like, all right, well.
Exactly. Like, go down, go up. Like, I don't consciously think, like, all right, right leg, left leg.
Yeah.
Like, So it's just like, and that's another thing. When you think about like breathing, you start doing it, but like that doesn't happen for like walking. I mean, like, okay, so if I'm thinking like
to where like you forget how to walk.
Not like that, but like when you like consciously start thinking about breathing, you're consciously breathing.
Yeah.
You have to do it until your brain kind of just
like forgets that you're doing it.
That doesn't happen with walking.
She was like a few steps and then it's like,
yeah, like you don't really like walk consciously. You just walk. So like
I see what you're saying.
What's the difference?
I feel
like
it's not like you
it's
just
like
stand there and
thing,
stop walking and then you're like.
And then I guess like there's some like other things like, for example, like this is, I mean, I've never been writing and thought like, damn, I'm writing. But like, for example, like let's say you're like taking notes and there's stuff on the board and you're reading it but you're not consciously thinking, okay, write this word, write that word. You're just doing
flowing,
it.
writing.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So like in theory, if you were to think like, damn, I'm writing, like,
then you have to like,
would you have to like, you get what I'm saying? Like, would you really have to go out of your way and like,
yeah. Okay, I feel like that happens. Mainly when I think it happens when I realize I'm not writing like neat, I guess. Because like when I'm looking, I'm like writing and I look down and then it gets to a point where I'm like, let me like, make sure I'm like,
my handwriting fucked up.
No, I feel like sometimes even when I like focus on my handwriting, it still comes out ugly. I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on? Like I'm like GR and I write it and it's like ugly. I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on? But I think that also goes to like reading. Yeah, like I feel like it just happens so many times where I'm just like reading,
like, I'll just be reading
and
something.
I turn the page. I'm like, what the hell did I just read? Like, you just like,
or like I'll just be like reading, and then like all of a sudden I'm like, I can hear my mind. I'm like going to the left. That I'm hearing myself reading. It's just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like
I'm just reading something, whatever, and all of a sudden I hear my mind like flow and soul, just reading it in my head. I'm like,
right, exactly. I'm just like
I know what I'm reading. Like,
yeah.
Don't double play it back in my mind, dude.
Yeah, consciousness is like weird, man. Like I don't get it.
No,
it's
literally.
so odd.
Like, there's too much stuff you can't test in the brain that like need, like we don't need an answer to, but it's like, why?
Yeah, it's just like why? Like why even? Yeah. Like I guess like what is like interesting about like consciousness is like, because I mean like there's other like, it's not like consciousness is exclusive to us. Like, you know, like dogs are conscious. They just don't like, you know, like they can't do what we do.
Yeah.
But like they're like conscious of like their surroundings and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess it's hard for me to say what I'm trying to think because like we can't communicate with animals. Like they don't speak English.
We want to know what they understand about the world.
Exactly. Like it's just like how do they like view
us in the world?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's just so like I can't like imagine being a dog. Like
you can't like the theory of is barking them speaking whatever they're speaking.
I don't think so. Like it doesn't make sense. But like at the same time, like I guess like that's the whole point of the question. Yeah. But like they don't like. It doesn't really seem like they like bark. You get what I'm saying? Like.
No.
They kind of just like make noise. But I mean, I guess at the same time, like, I mean, we all have different voices. So it's like, I get what you're saying.
Okay,
like,
I get. No, I get what you're saying. Nah, okay. That was my alarm for class. So
type. All right.
That was very good. Very great conversation. Yeah. I'm actually happy with this. All right. Look, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed our ramble about the conscious mind. Let us know what you guys think about that, to be honest, because I actually want to know if you guys agree with what we said.
Facts.
If you guys think that what we said was crazy or we're just like out of this world just thinking too hard on stuff.
Just yapping.
No, literally. But at the end of the day, you got to make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. And, hey, you guys showed us a lot of love on Instagram, more than I thought. So thank you for that.
Facts.
Really.
That
thank you.
Like, almost has like, last time I checked, it was like almost 3,000.
Almost 3,000
views.
So I know you guys are supporting us.
And I was like first post, no, nothing, like no
literally.
Special, nothing. Yeah.
So I really like make sure you guys keep sharing it, and thank you guys so much. Like I said, we gonna come back to being consistent. It was literally just audio issues. It was like,
yeah, this an hour-long video, but it's not coming out till next Friday.
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Because we still gotta edit this.
Cause like next Friday is Minecraft movie day, man. I don't know if it's a good day to release it.
Ain't nobody gonna care about that.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I hate when I want to post something and there's something more important going on in the world. I'm like,
Right, ain't nobody worried about
Ain't
no
nobody
damn
wor-
flow
yeah.
Soul episode 1. Like,
Sometimes I delay my YouTube videos. I'm like, I'm gonna post it, and then something crazy happens. I'm like, they're gonna see my video.
I mean, like, I don't think I'm doing anything tomorrow.
We'll see. This
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah,
we'll
see.
We'll see. Whenever.
We'll
But yeah, just let us know how you guys feel. Again, email, contact, all that stuff. You already know the jig, man. So it's Flo, your boy Soul, and we'll see you on the next episode, man. Great day.
Facts. Gotta get a Minecraft movie review for sure.